Hi, in this tutorial we're going to look at MVocoder. It's a very powerful plugin for getting new and bizarre sounds in music production. For a successful use, first we must understand what a vocoder actually is. As with many other types of sound synthesis, here we combine two signals for creating the third, completely new one. These two signals are called a modulator and carrier. As the name suggests, the modulator signal modulates the carrier one in a special way. It's easy to understand if you're familiar with filters. First, the frequency range of the modulating signal gets split into numbers of ranges or bands. Let's say 10. Then each filter's output signal comes in a detector, aka envelope follower, which produces a control signal. Second, the frequency range of the carrier signal is also split into ranges. Their number and tuning are equal to those which are used for the modulating signal. Third, we apply the control signal from the envelope followers to continuously change the output level of corresponding carrier bands. In summary, each part of the modulating signal spectrum modulates the same spectrum part of the carrier signal. Now, when we know the theory behind the vocoder, let's hear some practical examples. To apply MVocoder, I insert it into an instrument channel whose signal I'm going to use as the carrier. The modulator is received through MVocoder's sidechain input, which I need to activate. All set? So let's hear it.
Where we go when you're with me, I don't care. Our destination from this falling star is one way. This love that we found has got me walking in your life.
Here are some rules you need to know when you deal with a vocoder. Rule number 1. You'll get the output signal only when both a carrier and modulating signals are present at a vocoder's inputs. For example, I'm sending only a modulating signal into the MVocoder at the moment. And now, only a carrier one. Finally, both.
Where we go when you're with me, I don't care.
Rule number 2. The spectrum of the output signal is defined by common regions a carrier and a modulator's spectrums have. For example, let's hear what we will get if we use this carrier signal and this modulator. And here is what we get. As you can see, we hardly can hear anything at all. And the reason is the modulator and carrier's signal spectrums don't possess anything in common. Here is another instance of a carrier signal. And a modulator. And the MVocoder's output is despite a prominent bass of the carrier sound and a crisp high-frequency content of the modulator, the output signal is very much in a middle range. It's because this is the only common part the carrier and modulator signals have, and a vocoder's output can only be within that region. Rule number 3. The dynamics of the output signal includes the dynamics of both carrier and modulator 1. What I mean is, if you use a highly dynamic modulating signal, for example, a speech, and a dynamic carrier signal, for instance, an evolving pad, then you should expect that some syllables or even words may disappear in the output signal.
Mouth seems to be sitting by you, like water pouring through your fingers. As the endless days of plungers result only in increasing confusion. The breathy blue sky transform unnoticed. The happiness of a day go forth without the acknowledgement.
Moreover, you'll notice that at the time when both modulator and carrier signals are at high levels, the vocoder's output signal level will be even higher. And vice versa, if the carrier and modulating signals are low, the vocoder's output will be even lower. Thus, the dynamics of a vocoder signal, that is, the difference between the highest and lowest levels, is always higher than the dynamics of its input signals. If you want to get a predictable output signal, I'd recommend a compression of the modulator or carrier or both signals before sending them into a vocoder. Rule number 4. The higher the number of bands, the better the quality of vocoding. Here, by a better quality, I mean that a modulator and carrier signal's character will be better manifested in an output signal. It's especially easy to notice on a speech pronunciation. I'll put my voice recording and a source signal through the MVocoder, and you pay attention to the intelligibility of my voice at different band settings.
Hi, in this tutorial we're going to look at MVocoder. It's a very powerful plugin for getting new and bizarre sounds in music production. For a successful use, first we must understand what a vocoder actually is. As with many other types of sound synthesis, here we combine two signals for creating the third, completely new one. These two signals are called a modulator and carrier. As the name suggests, the modulator signal modulates the carrier one in a special way.
We've already learned quite a lot of information about vocoders, and yet we've barely touched MVocoder's interface. That's how broad and complicated this subject is. In the second part of this series, we'll go through each MVocoder's controller and mode. That's all for now. Thank you for watching.